Hey, what's up guys, it's Bravo. Today I am hanging out on Haven, and I'm bringing you a super informal tricks, jumps, and spots video about my experiences on this map and the best ways to play it and some little angles and jumps you can use. So we'll start here on the main ramp area. There's a few things you want to do. If you're playing matchmaking, you might spawn here. So instead of running straight up the ramp, for example, the challenge in this battle, because a lot of grenades are going to be exploding around here, the first thing you should do is probably jetpack up to the left or the right. Send one player left and one player right. And what you're going to do by that, first of all, you'll have a great angle as you're coming down on these players, and you can choose which ones you want to shoot. And then, of course, you can actually angle yourself entirely away from the enemy like this, and then make your next move wherever you want to go. So that'll really help you avoid grenades and give you a good head start. And by the way, most of these tips are going to be based on using the jetpack because it obviously gives you the most mobility in the game, and that's what this video is all about. So this ledge right here can be pretty useful as well. It's actually a little bit difficult to sit upon, but as you see, I hugged it for just a second. It's difficult to get perfectly, but when you do get it, as you see, you can hug it right here without needing to do anything else. So without the jetpack, you can just sit right here and wait for people to come around. And if people do rush you, I typically tend to be super annoying and jetpack straight up in the air so that you can just rain bullets down, sometimes even 5-shot them before they come over. So if someone is pushing over, there's no way they're going to be able to come over here and then look straight up and try to fight you. So using that ledge and using the jetpack there can be very useful. And as I mentioned, this is just going to kind of be off-the-cuff, useful things you can do in-game. So now that we're around top middle, let's look at any other options. So one of the things that I encourage people to do is use the jetpack to get over into certain areas. So say you're hanging out around here, of course, you can jetpack into there, over there. You can really break the map a little bit. But if you are trying to surprise someone over here, first of all, you can throw really good grenades in there from pretty much anywhere and take out that whole area around B4. But also, definitely go ahead and use the jetpack. Don't fall off the map! No! Alrighty. So there are definitely going to be a few times where I fall off the map in this game just because I'm trying out different stuff. But just to summarize that last thought that I just had, first of all, we'll just do one of these. Jetpacking up to here. And you can grab onto this ledge for a second and then jump over here. But what I was saying is you can jetpack into any of these areas and come down and surprise your enemy pretty easily. Also, good to do is to sit up on this ledge. If you know the enemy's not over here and you know there's someone around here, to have a little height advantage is very useful as well. So also, to avoid grenades around the pillars, if you jetpack into this area, there's a few things you can do. First of all, it's going to bring you high. You're going to be out of range. People won't really be able to see you. Grenades won't hit you. So that's useful when you're fighting down these hallways. Of course, you can always jump to check top middle. Not enough people do this, so you can also use the jetpack to sit up there for a second and then rain bullets. Or if you want to check a one-shot to finish a kill, you can use it to do that. I don't need to say anything about the jetpack around here. Obviously, it's used a lot to get up and down. It's very useful. You can jump straight out into the lift, which can be useful if you're doing a getaway. Of course, you can also jetpack out of the lift, which is going to send you about approximately 1 million miles into the air. And that's going to give you an angle on any part of the map, and then you'll be able to come down. And just so you guys know, I am jetpacking for that last second of the fall, and also crouching to avoid any damage. So something really cool that I want to show you, and I'll use a sticky detonator to demonstrate it. It's kind of an interesting little spot that you can use in the game. Of course, also, you want to avoid walking like this, as it puts you in the open. So when you are trying to go back to top middle, you can just sprint back up onto this ramp. And while we're at this ramp, really good idea to snipe around here. You see a lot of people using the sniper, so if you have the beam rifle on this map, you can just jetpack up and then take a shot and drop down and be pretty well into cover. You can also sit on this ramp and watch bottom middle. You can also use this glass to watch people coming. So if you know if you guys are both one shot, you can kind of time it with the glass there. So that's also very useful. Now let me swing back over here to this side. I wanted to show you guys one thing. This glass right here, as you see, cannot be shot through. And I found that you can get a little creative with it. So if you jump into it, so right here, as you see, I'm right on this glass. I actually can't get hurt by any grenades. This is something that neighbor and I tested together. So there's a sticky detonator right next to me, and I'll just blow it up. And you see I don't even get hurt. So any projectiles, this seems to have a very thick wall, maybe a little bit higher than it even looks like. So you can just sit here and let people shoot you and just joke around with them and even piss them off. So that's a cool little spot you can sit in if you ever want to. You're playing with friends. Probably not the best thing for competitive play, but grenades actually won't go through that area. So now as we swing back down the hallway, moving more towards sword ramp, we'll take a look at a few more things. One thing that I like to encourage people, there's a glass here. Not a lot of people see it. So if you are baiting an ordnance drop, or you're waiting for people to push bottom middle, or you're playing any sort of game type where you're cutting off this area, you can really use this glass to distract people, which reminds me, when I was playing before the game came out, I noticed that this glass actually, you see there's a little bit of texture on it. If you're sitting right here, it's very difficult for a player who's top middle to see you, actually, believe it or not. So go ahead and test that out. It's a nice little spot that people can't see. So if you're playing SWAT or something, it'd be a really good idea. Not too advantageous in other game types and game modes, though. So around this ramp here, not too much. I believe you can sit in these little areas here if you get a little crouched into them. But aside from that, nothing too valuable over here on sword ramp. And which reminds me, if you guys have separate tricks and jumps and areas on these maps that I haven't been brought up, because I'm sure I'm missing a few, and a lot of these are just little things that I found on my own, definitely leave them in the comments and have a cool discussion. Say, hey, I found this, and I'll make sure to upvote it and also comment so it gets posted to the top of the comments. So now as we swing around the perimeter, not much anything different here. Of course, always keep in mind, be really creative with your angles that you're playing on Haven. So shooting across this area, shooting down here. Of course, you can always just lift to this ledge, which is very useful in just about every situation. So right here, I'm baiting top middle. I'm not letting anyone come across. I can watch the gap. I can drop down if I need to. I can, with only using sprint, jump over here and then jump over here. Really easy to get away there. So definitely take advantage of those ledges as much as you can. And then also, as we swing back towards this side, of course, the same applies to the glass over here. And you can also wait for enemies right on this ledge. You'll definitely get a height advantage and a drop on them. You can even grenade them or just stay jetpacking so that they can't grenade you. Which brings me to right over here, which is a cool little area with the glass. If you sit up here, if you're in like a stalemate situation, you can get right on this glass. You can see exactly where the enemy is. So if you ever want to check back of main ramp, or there's a player sniping there, or if you're not sure what's going on there, every time you pass this glass, you can just take a quick peek, and if someone's over there, and you can plan accordingly. And of course, you can use this ledge. So one way to get over there would be using the jetpack to over here, and then you can continue to jetpack. You don't even have to use this ledge, but it's a nice place to sit. If you are up here, then you can jetpack around here and flank around top middle. And a lot of people have been doing that already, so that's not too new. But if you do want to do the jump without using the jetpack, I'll show you that really quick as I get over here. And as you see, you can jet without even touching anything down here. So what we found is that you can actually, without using the jetpack at all, do this jump. So if you're playing any game mode such as Slayer Pro that's sprint only, you just go ahead and run at it over the railing and then touch it one more time. That's what she said, and you land it. So that'll bring you right here, and that's obviously a really good getaway. You can hide in the ditch right here, and this area is really good for holding the oddball or just getting away and being annoying. So I didn't even have to jump. I didn't have to sprint. I can get right up here. No grenades are going to hurt me if I'm up here. And look at the sight lines. They literally have to come all the way around the pillar or do some crazy jumps with the jetpack to challenge you. So that's a nice little spot if you want to sit up there for any reason or you find it useful. So as I was saying earlier, if you have a player who's over here, you can definitely throw these grenades. There's, of course, these battles. If you have top mid control, there's players who are going to be right around here. But super easy to just jetpack right in. Make sure you don't hit your head. And you can just jetpack in and finish the kill. And that'll be a super easy and efficient way to get that done. Also, what you can do is I slip. No! And another little spot I want to show you guys that worked out pretty well for me. Used it last night, actually, was a little bit of a wall glitch. And you sit right here and you continue to crouch. And you can actually shoot through this area right here. It'll be very difficult for people to shoot against you. As you see, I'm bouncing right here. What I was able to do is literally shoot like this. And I'll try to see if I have that gameplay, if I can throw it in this game. But if not, if you are crouching right there, it's almost impossible for someone to hit you. I remember I was doing it and the person absolutely could not hit me. So you just crouch right into the spot. And these are really good areas for people to try to challenge you. So thank you guys for checking out this video. I hope you found it a little bit helpful, showcasing some different jumps and angles on Haven. Of course, the game's only been out for a little while, so this is all I've been able to explore, but I'm going to be coming out with different jumps, tricks, and angles videos in the future, so be sure to stay tuned for more.